Hello, and welcome to my channel. Today, we are going to explore some of the secret experiments conducted by the Nazis during World War II. The Nazis were notorious for their barbaric and inhumane treatment of prisoners of war, Jews, and other persecuted groups. However, what is less well known is the extent to which they engaged in scientific experiments on their victims, many of which were both cruel and unethical. One of the most notorious of these experiments was the hypothermia experiments. Nazi doctors would submerge prisoners in freezing water for hours at a time, trying to determine how long it would take for a person to freeze to death. The prisoners were often left with permanent damage, and many of them died as a result of these experiments. Another infamous experiment was the sterilization experiments, in which Nazi doctors attempted to sterilize Jews, Roma, and others deemed inferior in order to prevent them from reproducing. These experiments involved forced sterilization procedures, and many of the victims were left permanently damaged. The Nazis also conducted experiments on twins in an attempt to determine if there was a genetic basis for homosexuality, among other things. These experiments were particularly brutal, and many of the twins subjected to them were killed or left permanently disabled. Perhaps one of the most disturbing aspects of these experiments is that many of them were conducted in the name of science. Nazi doctors believed that they were advancing medical knowledge, even as they committed horrific acts of cruelty and violence. The legacy of these experiments lives on to this day, and they serve as a reminder of the dangers of unchecked scientific experimentation. It is important that we remember the victims of these experiments, and that we honor their memory by never allowing such atrocities to occur again. In conclusion, the secret experiments conducted by the Nazis during World War II were both shocking and inhumane. They serve as a stark reminder of the dangers of scientific experimentation without proper ethical guidelines. Let us remember the victims of these experiments and vow to never let such atrocities happen again. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found this video informative.